You know what time it is, guys. It's time for another edition of The Rounds. Welcome to the Brew There, Drank That family, where we bring you the freshest and tastiest in all that brews. My name, of course, is Glenn, which means I'm your host on this tour through our wonderful brewer nation as I try and cram as much beer, sudsy, hopsy goodness into these little episodes as you guys can handle. Today we're going to be swinging out to Petaluma, take another session with the folks there at Lagunitas because they do fantastic work. And what we've got today is a completely blind tasting. This is Lagunitas Little Sumpin WILD. This is actually a variation on their double-IPA, a little something something. And the noticeable difference here should be, or the feature difference, should be that they used a wild occurring strain of yeast to activate the fermentation on this ale. Comes in at 9.4% alcohol by volume and happens to be 72.5 IBUs. After the pour, we can see that it's got a gorgeous amber hue to it, and the bed seems pretty well structured. I wouldn't call it a rocky per se, but it seems to be well structured and it's breaking down at a relatively even pace. I went with a snifter, especially one with an etched bottom. I think with double IPAs and whatnot, it makes huffing the beer all the better. Again, gorgeous hue. And what I'm really looking forward to is what kind of notes this wild strain of yeast is going to be bringing in. Off the nose, I'm getting almost kind of a floral spice off of the hops. And there is a nice little bit of malt sweetness in the nose. It's an underlying tone. Hops are definitely predominant, but makes for a very inviting combination. It's definitely filtered. It's translucent, but it's a little harder to see just because of that gorgeous amber hue it's got. That is fantastic. This wild occurring strain of yeast, just after having only taken one sip, imparts almost some Belgian pale ale type spice notes. Spice notes do change with the strain of yeast you use, so swapping out from a typical strain to a wild occurring strain can actually be a really nice change, and I think it's done fantastically in this. The spice note from the yeast, it's a little bit like a coriander. That's a really interesting point, actually. Considering the flavor profile just off of the two sips I've had, it seems really reminiscent of like the Monk's Revenge from Terrapin. Now that was a blend of a Belgian triple and a double IPA, but this has got that same fantastic spice note out of the yeast, and exceptionally well done. This comes in a 6-pack and it won't totally kill your wallet. You're probably looking at like a $10 6-pack. Definitely worth the money and the price of admission. Once again, Lagunitas, you guys actually know how to label your beer, and that makes me a huge fan. That's pretty freaking awesome. So, to everybody out there, grab a 6-pack if you can find it, and drink up. Here's to the rounds, guys. I'll see you over our next pint. Have a good one.